you got to, when you're building something like what you're building, what you're really developing is true liberation for the black man. That's it. Or any type of man you allow into the school. I'm not gonna put any constraints on anything you're doing.
Yes, sir.
But you're giving true liberation to men. You're really, really elevating our families, really elevating our community, really doing the work. And I don't believe that America is a country that is interested in really supporting that. I just don't. I don't think government funding is going to do it. I don't think corporate dollars are going to do it, because what they'll do is they start putting in these little boxes. They start defining what you're allowed to do, what you're allowed to say, and all that. And what I like about you working with these boys, you're leading with love. Which is very important. Before you correct, you must connect. That's why they want to spit. That's why they love hanging around you, even when you're punishing them and making them do push-ups and all that. Because they know it's built on love. So the way you're funding this, I think, is extremely intelligent. And I love the fact that you're as independent as you could possibly be. And it doesn't mean you can't take money from different sources, but I like the idea that you're not beholden to anybody. I think that's the first step. So let me ask you this. Tell me about that process, and tell me, just how it's felt in terms of dealing with just the volatility of the internet. People criticizing, a whole lot of people doing a lot of yapping and ain't building nothing. And you know what I'm talking about. Tell me what that's been like for you.
Yeah, well, I'll just start from the get-go, man. I started the program out of my house. I had just lost my job, and I had 20 kids at my house every day, teaching them, and light bills skyrocketing because they're going in and out the door, and it was having to buy water and feed them and stuff. It was a tough time, but how I funded that at the time was I cut hair. Me and my younger brother, he's 16 now, but we used to go paint houses. He's about to turn 17 now, but we used to go paint houses. We used to go fix cars. We did what we had to do to support the program. Whatever money I had to make to support those kids, that's what I did. Whatever parents wanted to help feed the boys, whatever, they had food stamps and stuff, so they used to help us, feed the boys or whatever. We made it work because the parents believed in me that much. What I was teaching their boys and the differences they were seeing in their boys just from this little tiny program out of my house. So fast forward from there, when I had to start housing them because of COVID, did the same thing. Me and those boys, we went and worked on a farm. I was still teaching them stuff every day. We would go get paid to go, fix people's lights and whatever. We would do all this types of stuff. And then I was able to get them some lawnmowing equipment, and we got some lawnmowing equipment with the trailer. Then somebody stole all of our equipment. So we've been through the ringer, trying to support the program. But I always I teach them about big boy faith. As long as you keep giving, you're going to keep receiving. So we never worried about any bad things that happened to us. Sure, we'll get down for a little bit, but we kept pushing. But yeah, fast forward to, I think it was October of 2020. We got invited to go to the White House. We went there, and that was a beautiful experience. Some of those boys, from the hood, ain't never been on no plane, ain't never did nothing, ain't never been in no nice hotel. We got a lot of flack because Donald Trump was there at the time. They just like, oh, why you take the kids to Donald Trump White House? I'm like, or these kids are getting a chance to experience something that they never experienced before. Nobody didn't care about what he was talking about while we was there. We were just going to see the White House. It was a beautiful experience. And for some kids from Albany, Georgia, like from my small town, to get invited to go to the White House for doing something good, man. That was a great experience for us. I didn't care, but when we was there, it went nothing but love. It was just love from everybody. They loved what we was doing, etc. So we started, from there, and then I went viral on Twitter one time, and then that's when we first started raising money. We started raising money on I think it was GoFundMe at the time, and at that time I had no idea what a nonprofit was, didn't know about LLC, none of that stuff. Somebody was just like, you need to make a GoFundMe so you can get this school started you're talking about. So I was like, all right, bet, so I made a GoFundMe account, and we raised like $20,000 like the first week. And then, so this is when I started building shopping. So, we looked for a few different buildings around our hometown, and one building fell through because we weren't able to raise the money in time. Then I approached our local school board about buying a school building that they had up for demolition. So we went through a full 8-month process with them, trying to buy that building. And then at the end of the contract, they put in there that that we couldn't operate a private or a charter school out of the location unless they taught the core curriculum. And I'm like, how y'all gonna put that in the deed? Like, they tried to put it in the deed. And I'm just like, well, that don't make no sense. So we're not gonna buy this building. So we had a big shebang about that, and they lied on me in the newspaper, and my whole city drugged me for like 2 weeks straight on podcast and Facebook and Instagram. They was dragging me all through the mud like I was scamming people and stuff. I'm like, y'all literally have watched me work with these kids for the past 2 years. So I finally was able to go online, and I did a video, and I showed them all the emails that I had sent. I showed them, they tried to say the building went up for demolition. I showed them all them emails. I showed them everything that we lost in that full 8-month process. So people, shut up then, but nobody ain't gonna apologize, of course.
They never do.
They never do. Then fast forward, I did an interview with Mr. Rowland back in March last year, and maybe about 2 weeks after the interview, I got a notification on my phone that Dr. Boyce Watkins was going live at like 2:30 in the morning. And and it had my name on it. And so when I woke up, my phone was like going off, ding, 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 or whatever. And I got on my Instagram and I hadn't got like 40,000 followers like in a day. Like, and all these celebrities started reaching out. Rihanna hit me up, Layla Ali. Like, it was nuts. Like, for a long time, I did like 150 interviews like within a month span.
Whoa.
I'm talking about I was interviewing every day for people, little podcasts and all that stuff. I had no team or nothing. Like, so I called one of my friends and I was like, listen, can you like handle a schedule or something? She was like, yeah, she graduated from UGA, so she's about to be our head mistress for the school. But she was like, I got it, I'll do it. Then my manager was like, it was all going bananas. Like, it was so much going on. But we raised money then. And you know, after the school system thing fell through, we decided to go ahead and buy our land. We bought our land $100,000 cash back in May of 2021 from the money we had raised. And then we still didn't have a building for our school, but we decided we were just going to get something small and just start from there. I didn't care to keep raising money without having any tangible, so I just went ahead and got us something. So I'm in a resource building right now. Our resource center is comprised of 3 small buildings. They ain't that big. They were considerably tiny in the projects or whatever, but it's a nice building. It was actually an old drywall company that was here, which is why everything's actually so nice here. They kept everything up. So we did that. We purchased these buildings to start our school in back in June of 2021. So we purchased these 3 buildings for $70,000 cash, and we were just gonna start here. 2 weeks later, my realtor calls me and she says, King, I have a school downtown for sale. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There is no schools downtown. I'm like, we don't have no schools downtown here in Albany. And she's like, yeah, it is. She's like, it's an old church with a big school attached to it. So I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, it's the old Friendship Church. I'm like, well, I went to pre-K there. I don't remember no school being there. So she was like, we got to come look at it. So I went and looked at it, and this is 41,000 square feet, 25 classrooms, basketball gym. I mean, the whole 9, chapel, teacher's lounge, a whole bunch of miscellaneous rooms, elevator. I mean, the whole 9. But I told her, I was like, oh, this is great, but we don't have any money. I'm like, we spent all our money on these, these buildings that we purchased. I said, we got 3 small buildings. We're just going to start there. And, maybe next time. She was like, no, you're going to go raise some money and you're going to buy this school because you need it. And I was like, I agree. But I was like, I can't. I said, I've exhausted like my time raising money. Like, it's been like a year and a half now. And, we need tangibles. We already said we purchased these 3 buildings. I can't go back and raise more money. So she was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. She said, but you better call some of your donors and figure something out, because she was not taking no for an answer. And because she's been trying to help me find a building for the longest time, because she didn't sell us this building. So anyway, I went online and, I just jumped out on faith, and I went on Twitter. I didn't make a video. We didn't do any pictures. We didn't make a whole campaign out of it. I was just like, look, we need to raise $50,000 by Christmas. This was in October. I said, we need to raise $50,000 by Christmas to be able to get in the building, like just to be able to get in, because it'll be a mortgage on it. So I was like, we got to get in the building. We need to raise $50,000. So I posted it on Twitter, and we raised $50,000 in 36 hours. And it was amazing. And we closed on the building that next week, and now we have our school. And so ever since then, people have been helping us raise money, and for my boys to see all this, it's been beautiful, because they've watched me from my house, to arguing with people, to fighting folks and everything, all the way to having everything that we have now. And I'm only 22, and we did all that when I was 21. So I'm 22 now. But man, it's just been a beautiful experience for these boys to see, and for me to be able to be that example. And I've had a lot of hiccups in between then, just as a 22-year-old guy, women and whatever, hoopla or whatever. But all of my boys, know all of my mistakes. And, one thing I always try to get them to see is I want to tell you all about all the mistakes that I make, and try to make sure that you don't, make those same mistakes. So I'm completely open with them. They know things about me that nobody else will ever know or never find out, but I tell them these things because I want them to know it's always an open door policy here. So they've told me a lot of things that I will never say. We have our bond. And that's something I'm, really appreciative of, that we have, as a group. We can talk to each other about anything. We have private discussions, whatever. And I tell them everything, man. So nothing will ever be a surprise to them, because I already told them, it's just something, that I love to have. But yeah, man, that's where we've come from now. We just been raising money to renovate now. Renovation's been kicking our butt. Getting that roof done, and the leaks, and the ceiling tiles, and the flooring, and the plumbing, and the whole 9. I gotta get the elevator fixed. I gotta get flooring in there. The flooring's gonna cost us about $30,000. Then we gotta get the elevator fixed, which is gonna cost us about $15,000. Then we gotta get this fixed and that fixed and that fixed. But we're raising money, and people are helping us. And we also have stuff on our Amazon wish list, that will help us out also. So we don't have to necessarily raise money for some things. Like, I put our ceiling tiles online. We needed about like 400 ceiling tiles, and somebody went and bought them all for us. We needed new lights for our basketball gym. Somebody went and bought them all for us. We needed, rubber floor mats, for the school, and people bought all of those. So people have been helping us out. People bought all of our toilets for us, our paint for our building. So people have been helping, because I've been showing them what's going on. So it's just been a beautiful thing. Just people feel like this is all a part of their process. And then we'll have a grand opening banquet on September 10th. At the school, so people can come tour the building, come see what all we've done, have a big ribbon cutting, and then that Monday we're going to open the school up, and we'll be head first.
Wow. Yep, I love it. How many